Welcome to the official Sales and Marketing for Beauty conference podcast. This is your go to destination for real world insights on building, growing, and thriving in the beauty industry. Whether you're a beauty entrepreneur, a salon or spa owner, a product brand owner, or an aspiring professional, you're in the right place. Each episode is your personal masterclass in beauty entrepreneurship, from sales strategy and social media tips to brand building and behind the scenes stories from industry leaders. SAMB is more than a podcast or an event. We're a year round support system. Mark your calendar for SAMB 2025, our flagship conference happening November 5th through the 7th. It's a virtual event. And so we have a lot of global speakers as well as speakers there in the US and local to New York City. We'll also have some local networking opportunities and there'll be virtual networking opportunities. And so there'll be hands on workshops, one to one consultations, expert led sessions, all designed to help you scale and succeed and get real actionable strategies and tips to grow the sales and marketing function of your business, right? So stay tuned for the podcast. Make sure you check out our website, and we hope to see you at SAMB 2025.
Picture this for a second. Your day kicks off not just with your phone alarm, but with this internal buzzing of 1,000 things you need to do. The salon phone's already ringing like crazy for bookings, right? Meanwhile, you're trying to unpack that new product order, sort out a little scheduling mix-up with your team, and somehow draft that urgent marketing email. And all this before your first client even steps through the door for their lashes. Does that sound, well, familiar? For so many of you listening, especially our amazing beauty entrepreneurs, this isn't just some made-up scenario. It's the daily grind, that feeling of being constantly pulled in 10 different directions, juggling all these responsibilities. It often leaves you feeling totally overwhelmed, maybe a bit undervalued, and honestly, just exhausted.
Right. Well, absolutely. And what's really key here, and maybe I talked about enough, is how the beauty industry itself just seems to amplify all these pressures. It's not just fast-paced. It's deeply personal. It's driven by trends that change like that. And it's super competitive. Client expectations, they're sky high. And there's this constant demand for innovation. So this unique environment means that as a beauty entrepreneur, you're not just, running a business. You're wearing an incredible number of hats, often switching between them like multiple times an hour. You're the creative director, the careful manager, the savvy marketer, the financial planner, the understanding HR person. And yeah, very often you're still the skilled technician doing those signature services that keep people coming back. This kind of intense multi-role juggling act makes effective time management not just, a nice-to-have skill. It's absolutely critical. It's the foundation for survival, for growth, and frankly, for your own sanity.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that because that's exactly what we're diving into today. Our mission here is to tackle two massive challenges, and they're so intertwined for beauty business owners. They're almost like two sides of the same perfectly manicured coin. First, we're diving headfirst into mastering time management, but not just to tick off more boxes. We're talking about genuinely cutting down stress, seriously boosting your productivity, and maybe most importantly, creating the kind of sustainable growth that lets your business really blossom without you just completely burning out. And then the second piece, we're going to face that often silent, kind of sneaky struggle that hits so many talented people. Imposter syndrome, that little nagging voice, right? The one telling you you're just faking it, that you'll be found out any second. So our goal for you by the end of this deep dive is to arm you with real actionable strategies, not just to get by, but to really truly thrive in this amazing dynamic industry.
Exactly. And what you'll get from us today isn't just abstract ideas. We're going to dig into concrete tips, pull from real world examples, things people are actually doing, and uncover some really valuable psychological insights. And it's all tailored specifically for you, the beauty business owner. Doesn't matter if you're running a busy salon, a calm spa, a high-tech med spa, or even a beauty retail shop. This isn't about that old advice of just work harder. Forget that. It's about fundamentally changing your approach, working smarter, reclaiming your time, your mental space, and maybe the biggest piece, building that solid belief in your own worth, your own capabilities as a leader, as an innovator in your field. So yeah, let's get into it.
Absolutely. So first stop, the entrepreneurial overload. Let's really get why time management is such a make or break skill for beauty pros like you. Okay, so this many hats thing. As a beauty business owner, you're not just one person, are you? They're basically an entire company squished into one incredibly driven individual. Just think about it for a minute. In like a single hour, you might go from being the creative visionary, maybe sketching out a new service idea, to totally suddenly being the super practical manager, making sure the day runs smoothly. Then boom, you're the marketing whiz, whipping up a quick Instagram story, only to pivot again to being the careful financial planner, checking the numbers, looking at profit margins. And at the same time, you're the understanding HR person dealing with a team member's issue. And often you're still the hands-on technician, doing that amazing haircut, that facial, those perfect lashes, the things that keep your clients loyal. It's incredible, really, a testament to your passion. But it can also feel like this endless, frantic juggling act that leaves you feeling kind of scattered and always playing catch up, doesn't it?
It really does. And the thing about this many hats problem isn't just the sheer number of tasks. It's the cognitive load, the mental energy it takes, and maybe even the emotional whiplash, constantly switching between these super different roles. Imagine jumping from like a really creative right brain task like designing a new treatment straight into a detailed left brain thing like reconciling expenses, and then immediately needing to be deeply empathetic for a client consultation. That constant mental gear shifting. It's a fast track to burnout if you don't manage it really intentionally, really effectively. The scope of responsibility is just huge, and it feels unique in beauty. You're not just managing staff and money. You're also dealing with the very specific demands of this industry, like the constant pressure to know the latest trends, learn new techniques, find cool new products, and always keep clients happy, all while keeping the place looking great and making sure the basic supplies, scheduling run like clockwork. It's relentless. It's a high-touch cycle. Without a smart approach to your time, that cycle can just totally overwhelm you. It chips away at your energy, your passion, even your mental health. So we want you to maybe take a second right now. Think about which of those hats you wear feel the heaviest, the ones that really drain you. And then just reflect. Why is it so easy to feel pulled in all these directions? Pinpointing that specific pressure point, that area where things feel toughest, that's really the first step to managing it better.
Yeah, and it's no surprise so many small business owners feel this way, especially in a service-heavy field like beauty. I saw this stat recently from a QuickBooks report back in 2020, and it really stuck with me. 40% of small business owners openly said they struggle with time management, especially when trying to balance lots of different tasks. 40%, that's almost half. It's huge, and it really highlights this universal, often unspoken challenge that can trip up even the most dedicated business owner.
And what's so crucial to get is how this common challenge gets seriously compounded for beauty entrepreneurs. Because your work is so client-facing, so hands-on, so service-focused, this difference between working in your business versus working on your business becomes, well, it's not just important, it's often the key difference between just staying afloat and actually achieving scalable success. Think about working in your business. That's being constantly swallowed up by the immediate stuff, the day-to-day operations, the reactive things. You're putting out fires, dealing with individual client things, actually doing the services, restocking shelves, answering every single phone call. Basically just reacting to whatever pops up. Now, this work is essential, obviously, for keeping the doors open, but it's mostly reactive and it just eats up all your time. Then there's working on your business. That's a totally different mindset. It's about strategic planning, thinking ahead about growth, coming up with new services, improving the overall client journey, figuring out marketing strategies that will build your brand long term. This is the proactive, the visionary work. But if you're constantly stuck in the whirlwind of in-the-business tasks, without a solid plan for managing your time effectively, it's incredibly easy to just get trapped there. You never get to the strategic stuff. You end up neglecting the foresight, the creative development, the planning that really drives sustainable success and lets your business grow beyond you just being there doing everything. So what's the takeaway for you here? It means getting your time back isn't just about like checking off more tasks or getting through the day. It's about unlocking the massive potential for your business's future. It's about breaking free from that exhausting cycle of always reacting, always putting out fires, and giving yourself the space, the invaluable space, to be proactive, to be creative, and to really step into that role of the visionary leader you want to be for your brand.
Okay, so we've really dug into the challenges. Now, let's talk solutions. Real things that can make a difference in your day. For beauty entrepreneurs, automation. I mean, it's not an exaggeration to say it's an absolute game changer. Just imagine for a minute getting back hours of your time, literally hours from those boring, repetitive admin tasks that just seem to suck the life out of you. That's the power here. Letting a sort of digital army handle the routine stuff so your human touch can focus where it truly matters.
It really is transformative. Automation basically changes your whole workflow by getting rid of manual work. It frees you up to put your energy, your creativity, your strategic brain power towards those higher value things. The tasks that need your unique skills, your creative vision, your deep understanding of your clients in the market. It's not just about saving a few minutes here and there. It's about optimizing your whole operation, cutting down on mistakes, and creating a smoother, more professional experience for everyone, your team and your clients.
Let's get specific. Let's talk tools and examples that could literally give you hours back each week. First up, appointment scheduling. We all know it, right? The endless phone tag, the missed messages, the nightmare of double booking someone, or that awkward trying to squeeze someone in dance. But what if your clients could just easily book themselves online, whenever it works for them, even at midnight? Tools like Vega, Acuity Scheduling, or maybe Bookie, they're fantastic for this. They automate the whole booking thing. Cuts down massively on phone calls, emails, manually messing with the calendar. But here's the kicker. These systems automatically send out personalized reminders and confirmations. Texts, emails, whatever works. This is huge. It drastically reduces no-shows and those last-minute cancellations that just kill your schedule and your income. Think about the peace of mind that brings. Less chasing people, more actually doing the work you love.
And that's just scratching the surface. Next up, think about inventory management. How often have you been right in the middle of a service and realized you're totally out of someone's favorite product or a vital supply? Manually checking stock, guessing when to reorder, scrambling to place an urgent delivery. It's common, yeah, but it's frustrating and costly. But with an automated inventory system, you track stock levels in real time. These smart systems can send you alerts when things are low and even suggest how much to reorder based on past sales. So you're never caught out. You're always ready for the next client. Your clients can always get what they need. Plus, it helps your cash flow too, stops you from over-ordering or having products just sitting there expiring. It shifts you from just reacting to being proactive and data-driven about your supplies.
Right. And then there's social media automation. We know social media is absolutely vital for beauty businesses. It's your shop window, your portfolio, your community space. But man, it can feel like a constant black hole for your time and creative energy. Trying to think of fresh stuff every day, posting consistently, engaging, it's like another full-time job sometimes. Tools like Buffer, Hootsuite, or Later, they are lifesavers here. They let you schedule your posts, your stories, even reels way ahead of time. Imagine planning a whole month's worth of great content, beautiful before and afters, client love, product highlights in one focused session instead of that daily scramble. Plus, they give you analytics. You can see what's working, what's not, and tweak your strategy. This frees up your brain power to actually interact meaningfully with your audience, reply to comments, answer DMs, build real connections instead of just the admin task of posting. Okay, let's unpack this a bit for you listening. What tasks are you spending the most time on right now that feel like drudgery, like a total time suck, that could realistically be automated? Could you maybe commit to trying out just one of these types of tools in the next month? Maybe start with the one that feels like the biggest headache, just to see how much time and efficiency you could gain. Okay, this next one. This can be a tough one for a lot of entrepreneurs. I know it can be for me. It kind of goes against that instinct to control every little detail. We're talking about delegation, the art of it. It's so easy, especially when you're passionate about what you do, to want to handle everything yourself, from the big picture stuff down to the tiniest detail of a client's visit. There's that feeling, right? If I don't do it, it won't get done right. But here's the hard truth. Trying to do it all yourself, it doesn't just lead to burnout. It actually holds back the very growth you're working so hard for. You become the bottleneck.
That's a really critical point, both psychologically and operationally. Delegation isn't just about, pawning off tasks you don't like. It's a smart, strategic time management technique. And it does two really powerful things at once. First, for you, it frees up your incredibly valuable time and mental energy. So you can focus on the big-ticket items, the high-impact stuff that only you as the owner can really do. Things like setting the vision, building key relationships, exploring partnerships, developing that next killer service. And second, just as important, it empowers your team massively. When you delegate effectively, you're not just assigning jobs. You're giving your staff real opportunities to take ownership, learn new skills, use their judgment, and feel more invested in the business's success. That builds a more engaged, capable, and ultimately more loyal team, which is priceless.
So let's talk practical ways to do this. How can you actually start delegating effectively? A great starting point, often the easiest one, is hiring help for administrative tasks. If you feel like you're constantly drowning in emails, wrestling with the schedule, managing endless client messages, or fielding nonstop phone calls, seriously think about getting an assistant, or even a virtual assistant, a VA. They can handle these day-to-day admin burdens, freeing you up directly. You get to oversee the business, build your brand, and connect more deeply with your clients. It's about consciously stepping away from the small stuff so you can see the bigger picture.
Absolutely. And beyond getting outside help, empowering your existing team is huge. It's often right there, waiting to be tapped. Think about how you can systematically give more responsibility to trusted, capable team members. For example, maybe you have a seasoned spa manager or a senior technician. They could potentially take charge of product inventory, optimizing the staff rota, maybe even handling routine client feedback or complaints, only bringing the really tricky stuff to you. This doesn't just take stuff off your plate. It actively builds leadership skills within your team. It fosters responsibility, ownership, and it genuinely makes the whole business run more efficiently. It's an investment, really, in your time and in your team's growth.
And don't overlook the power of outsourcing specialized tasks. There are definitely areas where bringing in an expert is just way more efficient, gives you better quality, and can even be cheaper than trying to figure it out yourself. Think about things like bookkeeping, getting those numbers right, graphic design for your marketing materials, making them look amazing, or maybe complex website stuff, SEO. Professionals in these fields, they can often do it better, faster, and maybe even more cost-effectively, especially if you use platforms like Fiverr or Upwork. You get top-notch work done, and you free up your brain power and your time for what you actually do best, running and growing your beauty business. We actually saw a great case study on this. A beauty salon down in Miami managed to boost its revenue by 30% in just 6 months. Impressive, right? And how? Simply by delegating all their main admin tasks to a full-time office manager. This let the owner shift her entire focus to building client relationships, developing new high-end services, and really pushing their marketing. Those were the things that truly drove growth for her. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting for you listening. Can you pinpoint specific tasks right now that you could confidently hand over, either to your staff or maybe outsource? And how can you really empower your team to take on more responsibility, maybe with some clear training, without that feeling of losing control or sacrificing the quality you're known for? Okay, moving on to another really foundational strategy for getting your time back. Prioritization. This is all about recognizing deep down that not every single thing on that never-ending to-do list is equally important or carries the same weight. Figuring out which tasks really matter, which ones will actually move the needle for your business, and deciding what to tackle first. That's absolutely fundamental to managing your time well. It's about being strategic with your energy, right? Not just being busy for the sake of being busy.
You hit the nail on the head. The core idea here is to consciously, consistently focus your limited energy, your finite time, your valuable resources on the activities that deliver the biggest impact. The biggest impact on your business's success, and just as importantly, on your own well-being. It's about working smarter, being more intentional, rather than just putting in longer hours or feeling like you're constantly chasing your tail. It's a real shift from being reactive to being proactive.
So how do we actually do this? How do we put it into practice? Well, one really effective method, surprisingly simple actually, is the Eisenhower matrix. Heard of this? It divides tasks into 4 boxes based on 2 things: urgency and importance. Box 1. Urgent and important. These are your immediate priorities, crises, deadlines. Gotta do them now. Box 2. Important but not urgent. This is the crucial stuff for long-term growth. Planning. Needs proactive scheduling. Box 3. Urgent but not important. These are often interruptions, things you could maybe delegate. They scream for attention but don't really advance your main goals. And box 4, neither urgent nor important. These are the time wasters, things you should try to just eliminate or minimize. The key is always tackle box 1 first. Then make dedicated time for box 2. This helps ensure you're consistently working on what builds the future, not just reacting to today.
Building on that, another super practical strategy, often overlooked, is simply creating daily to-do lists. But here's the important part. Every morning, make your list, and then immediately pick your top 3, your absolute highest priorities for that day. Then, commit. Focus on getting those 3 things done first before anything else distracts you. This helps massively because it breaks down big, overwhelming projects into smaller, manageable steps. It reduces that feeling of being swamped and makes sure your most important work actually gets done instead of being pushed aside by little things. You're shaping your day, not just letting it happen to you.
Yeah, and to really keep that momentum going, setting time limits for specific tasks can be incredibly helpful. Like when you sit down to do something, Set a timer, maybe 30 minutes for emails, 45 for scheduling, even just a focused 20-minute burst for social media planning. This simple habit, sometimes called the Pomodoro technique, helps stop you from getting sidetracked. It keeps you moving through your day and prevents you from getting totally bogged down in one task for too long. It kind of trains your brain to focus intensely for short bursts. And we've got research backing this up too. A study in the Harvard Business Review found that entrepreneurs who set specific, prioritized goals are 33% more likely to actually achieve them compared to those who don't. So clearly, prioritizing isn't just about feeling organized, it directly impacts your success. So what does this mean for you? Are you maybe spending too much valuable time on lower priority stuff, things that don't really contribute to your long-term vision for your beauty business? How could you prioritize better? Maybe try the Eisenhower matrix tomorrow, or just focus on your top 3. How can you make sure you're consistently working on what truly moves the needle? All right, next up, time blocking. This sounds super simple, but honestly, it's so effective for managing your time with real intention. It's basically dedicating specific, protected chunks of time in your calendar for different types of tasks or work categories. Think of it like scheduling your whole day, not just client appointments, giving every important activity its own dedicated slot.
Exactly. And the real power of time blocking. It helps you actively avoid that trap of multitasking, which we know now from loads of research just kills your efficiency, your focus, and drains your mental energy. By proactively assigning each key area of your business its own protected time slot, you make sure everything gets the focused, uninterrupted attention it needs. This proactive approach stops that constant mental switching, that context shifting, which leads to mistakes, forgotten things, and way more stress. It's about working mindfully, not just being busy.
Let's see how you can apply this right in your beauty business. First, the obvious one, client appointments. Seems basic, right? But by intentionally setting aside specific, firm hours just for clients, maybe mornings and service times, afternoons or admin, you stop accidental overbooking. And you guarantee you have uninterrupted, focused, quality time with each client. That makes them feel valued, helps you do your best work without feeling rushed. Win-win.
And beyond client time, absolutely block out dedicated time for administrative work. Be disciplined about it. Schedule specific, non-negotiable blocks each day or week for emails, inventory checks, reviewing finances, planning social media, the huge benefit. By scheduling it, you stop the temptation to try and squeeze it in during busy client times, which we know disrupts your flow, looks unprofessional, and pulls you away from your clients. It creates clear boundaries for focused work.
And here's one that often gets pushed aside, but it's so crucial for long-term success as a beauty entrepreneur. Professional development. The beauty world changes constantly. New techniques, new products, new trends. You have to keep learning to stay ahead. So make it non-negotiable. Set aside dedicated time, maybe just an hour or 2 a week for learning. Whether it's watching a webinar on a new technique, reading industry news, learning a new business skill, this blocked out time is a vital investment in yourself and your business. It keeps you sharp, keeps your services exciting, elevates everything. We heard about a beauty business owner in London who really committed to time blocking for clients, admin, and crucially, personal time for herself. The result, a 25% drop in overtime work and a much better work-life balance. That's a real, tangible impact. Okay, let's unpack this. How could you start weaving time blocking into your routine? Maybe just start small. Which specific tasks or work categories could you manage better with dedicated time blocks, even just 30-minute ones to cut stress and boost your productivity? Okay, our final strategic time saver brings us to something that's becoming, well, not just helpful, but pretty much essential in business today, leveraging technology. Tech offers so many tools now that can help beauty entrepreneurs like you save time, reduce that mental load, and seriously improve efficiency, pretty much across the board. We're talking smart solutions for nearly everything, managing bookings, handling payroll, tracking sales, getting client feedback. It's like an efficiency multiplier for your business.
It really is. And the strategic edge you get from smartly integrating these tools into how you work every day, honestly, you can't overstate it. It's about building this strong, connected digital foundation that doesn't just support your business, but makes it more resilient, more responsive, more consistent, and ultimately more profitable. Choosing the right tech isn't just an expense, it's a serious investment in your future.
Let's look at some key tech integrations that could really change things for you. First, client relationship management systems, CRMs, tools like Mindbody or Zenity. They're amazing for keeping track of all those client details, their preferences, contact info, appointment history, maybe notes on their favorite products, but they do way more than just store info. They can automate personalized reminders, suggest add-on services based on past visits, track loyalty points, even segment your list for targeted marketing emails. All of this makes it so much easier for you to really nurture those vital client relationships, making each person feel seen, valued, understood. That boosts loyalty and referrals like crazy.
Then there's POS, point of sale and payment solutions. These aren't just cash registers anymore. They're like the central nervous system for a modern beauty business. Getting a solid POS system that talks seamlessly to your inventory and booking software, it's a game changer. It streamlines checkouts, massively reduces errors in pricing or stock counts, and lets you track sales, see how services are performing, check inventory levels all in real time. This gives you invaluable data for making smarter decisions, like figuring out your most profitable services or knowing when to reorder products. Every transaction becomes useful data. It makes things smoother for clients and helps you grow smarter.
And for managing your most important asset, your team there, are fantastic staff management tools. Platforms like Deputy or When I Work. They're built specifically to make staff scheduling easier, track hours accurately, and simplify payroll. By automating these admin-heavy tasks, you save countless hours of manual work, cut down on scheduling headaches, and make sure everyone knows where they need to be and when. It just leads to a smoother, happier, more efficient operation. Less stress for you, less stress for them. And this isn't just our opinion. A survey by Software Advice found that 70% of small businesses using management software reported better customer service and way better operational efficiency. Plus, a big drop in time spent on admin. That's a huge return on investment.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. What specific tech tools could you realistically put in place right now to streamline things? Are there parts of your business, maybe things you're still doing manually just out of habit, that could really benefit from automation or digital management that you haven't looked into yet? Okay, so we spend a lot of time on the external stuff, managing time, optimizing operations.
Brilliant, essential stuff. Now, let's shift gears. Let's talk about the internal game, which is arguably just as critical, maybe even more so. We need to talk about conquering imposter syndrome. It's one of the most common struggles for entrepreneurs, especially in beauty, but it's one people rarely talk about openly. It's that quiet, sneaky little voice inside, right? The one that pops up, maybe even after a huge win, and whispers doubts, questions your worth, makes you downplay what you've achieved, convinces you deep down that you're just faking it, that everyone else knows what they're doing, and you're going to get found out. It's a horrible, unsettling feeling.
It absolutely is. And the first thing, the most important thing, is to validate that feeling. If you feel this way, you are so far from alone. Most founders, seriously, no matter the industry, no matter how successful they look, they run into imposter syndrome at some point. Often, many points along the way. But what's really interesting, and it may be specific here, is why the beauty industry might amplify these feelings. Think about it. There's such an intense focus on perfection, on image, on aesthetics, on how things look. When your whole business is tied up with beauty, self-care, confidence, every single thing you put out there can feel intensely personal. Every product launch, every client interaction, every Instagram post, every before and after, it feels like you are being judged. That high visibility, the constant comparison trap on social media, the subjective nature of beauty itself, and that pressure to always look flawless, it can really trigger or worsen those feelings of doubt. So have you ever felt that? That weird, unsettling feeling, maybe after getting great feedback or selling out a product, that it was just luck? Or that you're about to be exposed as not really knowing what you're doing? It's real, it's human, and it's very common in your field.
So how do we fight back against the inner critic? How do we manage it, quiet it down so it doesn't paralyze us? How do we move forward with real courage and belief in ourselves? We've boiled it down to 5 really actionable, powerful strategies to help you on that journey.
Yeah, these are designed not just to help you kind of reframe how you think, but to actively build a more resilient, authentic sense of self-belief, the kind that can handle the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur and let you really thrive from the inside out.
Okay, strategy number 1.
Yeah.
1, name it to tame it. Sounds simple, maybe, but it's the essential first step, just recognizing and calling imposter syndrome what it is. It's a pattern of thoughts and feelings, not a statement of fact about your abilities.
Exactly. It's about understanding, really understanding with kindness towards yourself, that this inner voice, it isn't an accurate measure of your talent, your skills, your competence, not at all. Instead, it's a totally normal, though, uncomfortable psychological reaction to being in new situations, challenging situations, high-stakes situations, which, let's face it, is pretty much the definition of being an entrepreneur, especially in a fast-moving industry like beauty. We really want to reassure you. Feeling unsure, feeling nervous, even feeling like you're figuring things out as you go. That doesn't mean you're unqualified. Actually, it often means the opposite. It means you're growing, pushing your boundaries, stepping outside your comfort zone. You're learning. It's a sign of ambition, not a sign you're not good enough.
Okay, strategy number two. Focus on evidence, not emotion. When that doubt starts creeping in, it's so easy to get swept away by the feeling, by the self-criticism, the worry. Emotions are powerful, but they're not always reliable guides to reality.
Right. So to counter that emotional hijack, we really encourage you to actively, consistently keep a tangible record of your wins. Big ones, small ones, doesn't matter. Maybe it's a win journal you jot things down in. Maybe it's a folder on your computer where you save amazing client reviews, thank you emails, a screenshot of that launch that sold out faster than you expected, or even just a note about a tricky problem you managed to solve. These concrete reminders, they are incredibly grounding. They give you undeniable objective proof that you have made progress, that your work has made a positive impact, that you are constantly learning and achieving. They're like solid facts that you can hold on to when those swirling, often irrational feelings of doubt try to take over.
Strategy number three. Talk about it.
Okay, this one can feel really vulnerable, scary even. Saying those insecurities out loud, it might feel like you're making them more real or exposing yourself. But it's actually a hugely liberating step, totally. Sharing your doubts, your fears, those moments you feel like a fraud, sharing them with someone you trust, a mentor, another entrepreneur who gets it, maybe even your supportive team, it can be incredibly powerful. Just the act of naming those doubts out loud often takes away a lot of their power. It brings them out of the shadows. And you'll probably be really surprised and maybe relieved to find out how many people you admire have felt exactly the same way. That shared experience helps normalize it. It reminds you you're not alone in feeling this way, especially when you're doing brave things, pushing yourself into new territory.
All right, number 4. This is a big one. 4, let go of needing to be ready. Oh, this trips so many people up. That pervasive, often paralyzing idea that you have to have everything perfectly figured out, be totally prepared, feel 100% ready before you can launch that new thing, grow your business, or go after that big opportunity.
This is such a liberating shift if you can make it. We really need to challenge that idea because the truth is nobody starts anything significant with all the answers. Nobody. You learn by doing. You build real confidence step by step by showing up, taking action, trying things, putting yourself out there. And honestly, even the people who look like they've totally made it, the leaders you admire, they're often still navigating challenges, still learning, still figuring things out too. The goal isn't to eliminate doubt completely. A little bit of self-awareness can actually be useful, right? The goal is to build the resilience, the courage, to move forward despite the doubt. It's about taking action even when you feel uncertain, trusting that you can learn and adapt as you go.
And finally, number 5, maybe the deepest one. 5, return to your why. This is about reconnecting, getting back in touch with the core mission, the purpose, the passion that made you start this whole thing in the first place.
Yes. Guide yourself back, maybe even in a quiet moment, to that deep reason why you do what you do. Is it about creating inclusive beauty, empowering clients with confidence, sharing cultural rituals for well-being, whatever your why is? When you really connect with that strong sense of purpose, the work becomes bigger than just you. And that perspective, it has this almost magical way of quieting down that nagging voice of perfectionism because you realize the impact you're making isn't about being flawless. It's about being authentic, being real, being consistent with your values, being aligned with your mission. That authenticity, that purpose, that connection to your why, that's way more powerful, way more resonant than chasing some impossible idea of perfection. That's what will keep you going.
Absolutely. Being a beauty entrepreneur, it isn't just about selling products or services. At its heart, it's about courage. It's about resilience. It's about vision. Every single time you choose to trust yourself, share your unique story, take up space in this industry that needs more realness, more innovation, more diverse voices. You're not an imposter. You're a leader. You are actively shaping the future of beauty. You're making a real difference. #tag just try a Jeff.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, let's just quickly pull these two big threads together again. Remember, managing your time smarter, using automation, delegation, prioritization, time blocking, technology that's not just about being efficient. It's about creating the essential space, the mental and physical breathing room you desperately need. And then strengthening your inner game, your resilience against that imposter voice. That allows you to fill that reclaimed space not with more stress or frantic doing, but with courage, with purpose, with authentic leadership. They work hand in hand.
That's exactly the core message we hope you take away. Your time. It's your most precious, non-renewable asset. And your belief in yourself. That's your single most powerful tool. It's really not about working harder, grinding yourself into the ground. It's about working smarter, working with intention, and working with self-compassion. Focusing your energy on the high-impact stuff, smartly outsourcing or delegating things that aren't your core genius, using tools to automate the routine stuff. When you do that, you free yourself up. You get the time and mental energy to focus on what really drives success, building deep relationships with your clients, growing your unique brand vision, expanding your services thoughtfully, and, just as importantly, nurturing your own personal and professional growth along the way. That's how you build a business that not only succeeds, but actually sustains you.
So just take a quiet moment now as we finish up. Reflect on your current habits, both the external time management stuff and the internal narrative, that story you tell yourself about your abilities. What if the biggest thing holding you back from that next level of success isn't the competition or the market or the latest trend you feel pressured to master? What if it's simply how you choose to manage your time and the story you choose to tell yourself? How will you choose to work smarter, with more intention, and maybe speak a little kinder to yourself starting today?
Thanks for tuning in to the Song for Beauty podcast. This is a place where beauty meets community and it meets strategy and ideas. If anything resonated with you, if you were inspired, if ideas were sparked by this podcast, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, also share it. Be sure to check out www.samb4beauty.com. Stay tuned, and we hope to see you at the SAMB for Beauty conference this year in November. It's a virtual conference, November 5th through the 7th. There's a lot of great resources. You're going to access workshops, one-to-one consultations and membership. And then there are quarterly webinars for knowledge, and there's a knowledge base that you can access, all to support your efforts as you look at expanding some of your sales and marketing efforts for your business. We appreciate you checking in. Make sure to follow and check out the next episode.